Guest coming on, Carrie Coyner. But let me bring Carrie Coyner in right now because it's appropriate. I'm about to talk about approval, disapproval ratings. Carrie is a very popular Republican member of the Virginia House of Delegates, and so she, I think, can contribute to this. Anyway, Carrie, welcome back to the Fighting Joe Morrissey Show.
Good morning, Joe. Good to be with you.
And Carrie, folks, represents the 62nd House of Delegates district, which covers parts of Hopewell, Chesterfield, and Prince George. Carrie, you've been out. You got an election. I don't see you having a primary in June of 2023. Is that right? Do you anticipate one?
I would hope I do not, Joe, but, we don't get to pick and choose those things. But been working hard for the district, and hopefully that shows.
No, you have been. No question. In fact, I had, I can't remember who we had on the other day. It might have been Jeff Shapiro. It may have been, I can't remember. We were talking about camaraderie. And not only camaraderie, but cooperation. And I was out in Prince George yesterday at a well-attended function at, what was the name of that JUCO, junior college? Richard Bland. And I made the point that you can talk about all the dysfunction you want in Washington, D.C., because the room had R's and D's in it. I said, but let me just tell you this. I don't get what I want done, and Carrie doesn't get what she wants done, and Kim Taylor doesn't get what she wants done unless we're working together. And then I made it very clear that I'm working as a Democratic senator with Republicans Carrie Coyner and Republicans Kim Taylor getting things done. And I love talking about the Recovery High School, Carrie, which, truth be known, that's your brainchild. I latched onto it when I realized how important it was, but that was your brainchild. And I hope you're talking about that out in public because people love to hear about it.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, it is a great day for us getting ready to have this ribbon cutting next week. And, talking about working across the aisle, I really appreciated your support and help when we needed to get the Senate to help us get funding back. You fought for it. And it took both the House and the Senate to get that money put back in the budget. And I appreciate you always working across the aisle to get things done with me.
Well, listen, I got to say this, it's easy because it's like, what's good for Chesterfield? Oh, this Recovery High School, these young adults that it could be because of a sports injury, that they got hooked on Oxy or something else. But we all know that the road to becoming purposeful citizens is, if you're addicted, is recovery.
Yeah,
and you and I both have spoken to many recovery folks.
Oh, we have. And, this idea really came about early on the school board when Sheriff Carl Leonard said, so many of the men and women who were in his jail could share that their journey of addiction started in many of them middle school years from sports injuries or high school from various reasons for addiction. And, the men and women who were on their recovery journey in his jail said they wish someone could go back in time and help them when they were younger. And so this is really, starting from that conversation so many years ago, and then having a new superintendent and Dr. Doherty in Chesterfield who was willing to say, that's my vision too. So it's a perfect storm having, myself, you in the Senate, Dr. Doherty at the lead, and then our colleagues being willing to support, this pilot that hopefully helps the rest of the state in the future.
Yeah. Carl Leonard made a comment, and it was reported in the Richmond Times-Dispatch about a month ago, that we've got to stop criminalizing the disease of addiction. And he's right. And he talked about that many of these local jails are, they are really detox centers for people that are addicted to drugs like OxyContin. And if you understood the process, you'd realize that people are not getting high on Oxy in order to have that getting high feeling. No, it has nothing to do with that. They're taking Oxy to avoid a condition called dope sick. And I've described it as it was described to me as the worst flu you've ever had times 10. That's dope sick. So you take it to avoid being dope sick. In other words, just feeling normal. But it monopolizes your life. When am I going to get my next dose of Oxy? So having a recovery high school, I can't wait to see the markers at the end and to see how things are going, Carrie. When does the official, I know the ribbon cutting is next week. When does it open?
It's officially opening when the Chesterfield County school year starts. And so, it is open to up to 25 students. It is a regional school, so anyone who can attend Appomattox Regional Governor's School, all of those same school districts can participate. So Petersburg, Hopewell, Surrey, Sussex, Prince George, Richmond, Henrico, Chesterfield, Colonial Heights. It's a pretty big map. So, again, really looking to learn best practices, to learn what we need to improve on so that we can expand this across the Commonwealth. We know the need is not limited here. And actually, Virginia Beach is already trying to open up one in their area now as well. So,
wow.
Again, lots of great lessons that we've already learned in getting it open. The school division working very closely with the DBHCS, Department of Behavioral and Health, so that we know we have the best of both worlds, education and mental health and substance use recovery.
Right. Well, listen, when it does open, keep me in mind if you're going into the school to talk to these 25 students. I'd love to do that. And I'm not talking about going there where the reporters follow us and there's a TV camera or two. Just, you and me talking to them. I want to tell them how proud I am of them for availing themselves of this recovery high school and how excited I am that they get that monkey of addiction off their back. But anyway,
yeah.
Kudos to you for doing this.
I think that's really important, Joe, that we hear from our students who are there and how we look to expand in the future. So look forward to having those conversations with them with you.
Yep, that will be one of the most rewarding things I do that week or that month.